Good morning, good morning. We are back. We are back. The show is called TBR SSF Show, which simply means TBR Solution Sports Forum. It is myself and the man from the Manchester world, the Man City world.
Good
That's
morning,
Pete.
Sobri. Good morning, viewers.
Pete, re
Yes, sir.
kaofela sisonke singwe rotle on sesam. The beat goes on. Pete, today we have a big one. Pirates versus Mamelodi Sundowns. MTN 8. No matter what, these are powerhouse these days now in South African football. And I must say, big up. I've seen that Kaiser Chiefs has risen up again. Now they've 100% win, and they're
Yes,
number
brilliant.
2. Number 1 is Skukune United. One day we need to talk about Skukune United. And they've done very, very well. To be honest, for the past 3-4 years, Skukune United has been doing very well. They sell players, but they always compete. But this one, it's a big one. Mamelodi Sundowns, MTN. And I still say, I still have to be corrected. I've got a lot of friends from Mamelodi Sundowns. But I think if Pirates continue the way they do, they will take the league. That's me. But now the setback for Pirates, they've just lost two games.
Yeah.
And Mamelodi Sundowns, Sundowns, once they start winning, the momentum. But there are problems at Mamelodi Sundowns. Ribeiro has requested the contract to be terminated, has taken the matter to the FIFA tribunal, and then Mudau, we are told he's not willing to go back to Mamelodi Sundowns. There are problems at Mamelodi Sundowns. And I don't think it's an issue of money, because Motsepe is always prepared to pay. And then with Mudau, it was quite clear. They said, look, he's not for sale. He's not for sale, which means they want to retain him. They value him, okay? But the player doesn't want to be there. I don't know. There must be something.
We wonder why.
Yeah, there must be something. There must be something. The relationship could be another thing, okay? And that's it. So Ribeiro and Mamelodi Sundowns is not a topic for today. I'm just saying it passing. Mamelodi Sundowns are putting it nicely, which I fully agree with them. They say, which is Mamelodi Sundowns, they say Ribeiro was not known when he came here. And then after he came here, and then he played for CAF tournament, and then they took him to Club World Cup, and then not only that, the argument that they are putting, for me, it makes a lot of sense. And we took him to Club World Cup. He won the best goal in Club World Cup. So that on its own has risen his value. So Mamelodi Sundowns are saying, we need to get what we deserve. I don't know what's your take about that, Pete. Because sometimes in honest, we need to be fair with the teams.
Sure.
We need to be fair with the teams.
I think it's a valid. I think they have a valid point.
Yeah, this is a statement that you know what is Saturday. We get it from social media and Facebook. I want the teams to issue statements. That's what I prefer. So what can you say? They say you as an English person, where they smoke, there's no smoke without fire. So this could be the truth. I don't know. Yeah, Ribeiro, he's adamant. He doesn't want to play. One of the things that I'm looking at it could be a question of probably wants to go back to Brazil. Remember Brazilians? You know, they become homesick. I listened to him when they interview him, said, when I'm in the field of playing, I'm happy, and then with my teammates, and then they support me. But after that, when I go home, that's when I feel lonely.
I can believe that.
Yeah, that's why I feel lonely. So that's another thing. I don't know. What's your take here, Pete? If I may ask you.
Well, I think the club has a point.
Ribeiro was correct. Do you think Sundowns are correct to stand their ground?
Yes and no. Yes, on the basis of what we said earlier, or you said earlier, that they've invested a lot in the player. They put him on the world screen and they've increased his value. But I think the key point here is value. So if he's worth 10 Rand today and tomorrow he's worth 50 Rand, then if he wants to go, are they not going to get that money, or should they not recuperate that money in terms of the price that they ask for him when he goes to another club? I mean, so it's valid in one respect, but if they let him go and they want a certain amount of fees, you know, for that player to go, then they get that value back. What they don't get is that value going forward. That's the value as of today, and not necessarily what you would bring to the club, you know. And that's what they would call it's your future view. It's a future value. I can't remember the exact word now. So don't put me too much on the spot there as an Englishman coming up with the right words there. So,
yeah, sure.
But there is a future value. There is a future value.
Language is about understanding each other. You don't have to be professionals. There are those people who are professors. That is their specialty, you know. We don't specialize. As long as you hear me, I'm okay.
So there's a future value on that player if he was playing for Sundowns. But it's very difficult to put a value on. You can maybe value that player today, and based on your investments, you can get something back for that. But the future value is something that's not. It's not something that you could put a rands and cents value on there. But you see his defense, or his case. He says he's pleading for just cause. Yeah. And I was just thinking now. Right. So, oh man, I had that thing. The definition of just cause from a legal perspective was basically, I've got it. I'm going to read it to you. It's as a headline. It says legally sufficient reason for an action, and then it goes into the definition. It says just cause is defined as a legally sufficient reason for an action. It is often used in legal contexts, particularly in the employment law, where it refers to a justifiable reason for termination or other actions. Just cause may also be referred to as good cause or lawful cause. In general, it implies a reasonable and fair justification that a person with average intelligence would consider valid. Additionally, it serves as a standard of reasonableness to evaluate actions of a specific circumstance. So if one looks at that, and one looks at Ribeiro's sort of like reason to go to the tribunal, he says he has just cause for that. He has just cause. The details of that just cause I don't think have been announced right now. But when he goes in front of that tribunal, he will have to, him and his lawyers will have to, you know, sort of like put that on the table. So if one looks at that now, I mean, what would you see as his reason for just cause? Is his reason? I mean, he's played. He's won accolades there. They played him at the top level. Welcome, Tavisa.
I see Tavisa just joined us. Yes.
Good morning, guys.
Okay. Long time no see.
How are you though?
I'm good. We're
Thank
just
you very
discussing
much.
the Ribeiro issue of him taking his case to the tribunal, FIFA tribunal.
In fact, he has terminated. You know, once a player said, "I've terminated," in other words, he doesn't want to play for you. Now, if you're in Mamelodi Sundowns shoes, will you continue for him, or what do you do? But I also accept Mamelodi Sundowns' argument to say, we have invested in this guy. This guy was not so much known. Remember when he came here, we didn't even know about him. And now we have put him on the map. We deserve our investment. Give us what we want, because apparently Mamelodi Sundowns, they are not against him leaving, but they want the money that they have determined as per their evaluation.
You know what the issue is? The club was willing to pay whatever that they want. The problem is that Mamelodi Sundowns has been taking the price up, maybe more than 3 times. So the agent ended up saying, no, let's take this matter to FIFA because it looks like it's not gonna end. And the player needs to start playing, needs to focus on his play, on his career also. So that's why they quickly went to FIFA. You see, so
yeah, but
that's the reason.
Let's look at David Levy. I'm sure Pete will know about that, from Tottenham Hotspur. That guy doesn't play. Remember when he sold Gareth Bale? He doesn't move. Once he has given a price, it's a price. Whether you don't like it or what, David Levy stands his ground. And I think he has made Tottenham Hotspur to survive because of that attitude. He doesn't just wave easily. If you discuss with David Levy, you know, this one is a tough one. The price that he mentioned, that's the price. There's no like we can what. He's not like that. And he didn't do it with Gareth Bale only. Many players. He's a tough cookie. So, and I don't think it's unfair. I've invested money. So, so for me, I don't see anything wrong. They must pay. Fagi malu zobon.
True.
Here is another one. Linda Buthelezi, former Orlando Pirates, former Jomo Cosmos. I used to like him while he was at Jomo Cosmos. He played for Bafana. He goes out and say, Dr. Irvin Khoza is destroying the players' careers. I don't know whether I agree with him. Said he just proves a point that I'm the boss, And then he was quoting this issue of Saleng, that a player wants to leave. Dr. Khoza will say, no, this is what I want. He'll make it a point that his word is final. What's your take about this, Tabiki? In line with what we're discussing with Ribeiro.
For me, I'd also put in Kaizer Chiefs in the mix. They're similar to what Kaizer Chiefs and Cape Town Spurs have been doing actually, or the matter that's been ongoing actually. If a team or a player, if a team has invested in a player, I think when another team wants to buy him, the player, the institution or the team should get its investments, worth. So you can't just buy the player with whatever that you want, So if Irvin Khoza wants to hold on to the player, he's probably maybe was planning that the player will become a future Pirates player, maybe something in the team or something. He does not want to hold on to a player, maybe like in a Saleng's case like that. You can see that Saleng was not happy, so it was better for him, to be loaned out. Maybe they will sort their issues when he comes back. But I think Linda Buthelezi he does not know actually what's happening. He's just speaking from the outside. Irvin Khoza owns a team. He knows what he wants. So if he's holding on to the play, he probably has plans for the player or something. So I don't think Linda Buthelezi is correct to say whatever that he's saying. You know?
Look at this way.
Just a point there.
Yes, Pete.
Just a point there, though. If it doesn't even have to be Dr. Irvin Khoza, for whoever, if they have a plan for that player, is it not really important to convey that plan to that player, so to take out that, that uncertainty possibly, or so that they can see a future for themselves within that club? I sometimes we're back to that whole communication story again, Sobri and guys. So just a thought,
I don't know. Huh? Remember, others are even comparing to what is happening with Mofokeng. I don't know whether you have seen the performance of Mofokeng. It has deepened a little bit. He's not Mofokeng of last year. And people are saying that could be the reason of him wanting to go and Paris not willing to let him go. But I understand Minnesota in MLS have put an offer of 35 million rand to get Mofokeng. And guess what? I want to repeat. I want to qualify this. These are not the official news that we are talking about. These are some information that we are getting on the social media and so on, because our teams, they don't tell us. There is no transparency. So they won't blame us. Why are we talking about this? Because I'm certain the fans of Paris, the fans of other teams, they deserve to know what's happening. And that's another argument to say, why don't you release the player? For instance, Saleng, the Saleng issue, you can see if it has even become personal. All right? The mere fact that Saleng decided to go to Orbit, nah? Not even Chiefs or any other team, Orbit for that matter. You see, it's a question of I'll stand my ground. You get my point? I don't know whether Linda Buthelezi is off the mark. Like you are saying, Dr. Irvin Khoza has a point. He has invested, all right? But big up to Paris. They've just acquired Sibilibele. What a brilliant player. You don't even miss...
What a nice goal, yeah.
Yeah, you don't even miss Saleng because of Sibilibele. But I'm saying, I've been saying it, and I've noticed it's not only me now. I've seen Peter Detroit, Soccer Beat, also lamenting that why secrecy around our football? And that secrecy extends even when it comes to sponsorship. How much are they getting and all that? I know Robert has been complaining about this forever, especially when it comes to Colin Black Label. If you read his book, I think he strongly believes he was fired at DSTV because of the Carling story. I don't know, what's your take?
Who are you directing the question to?
Okay. Yeah, but people out there, think about it. We are not saying we are correct. Maybe you also have your own your own thought about it. But nevertheless, let's move on. A big one: Orlando Pirates and Mamelodi Sundowns. What's your take? Tabiso, let me start with you. What's your take? Orlando Pirates, Mamelodi Sundowns.
For me, it's a big one. It's a big one, and then I'm excited about the game. Exciting game, going to see Mbule going up against the Bohomokwena. They're in the middle of the park with Alende there, maybe with Masongani there, and he was arrested during the week, Masongani and Mbule. So, looking forward to a great game. But I think Sundowns will take it. I see Sundowns putting through. Sundowns is going to be strong for Orlando Pirates. I think Orlando Pirates should have won the first game if they wanted to move on to the semi-final. They can't beat Mamelodi Sundowns at Loftus Stadium. So I was hoping to see Ribeiro, but then I don't think he'll be available for the game too. But then either way. And then Mudau too also has issues with Sundowns, you know, similar to what's happening with Ribeiro. So, but either way, I think Sundowns will also be too strong for Orlando Pirates at Loftus Stadium. So I'll give it to Mamelodi Sundowns, maybe 2-1 or 3-1 there. Yes.
I don't think Mudau will be an issue. They have my boy there, Morena.
Yeah.
Morena can fill up that position very easily. Playing, you know, Morena is a good player, a very good player. It's just that you had Morena and Mudau.
Yeah.
So Morena, for me, can fill up that gap very easily. But let me hear, Pete, what's your take? Do you think, do you agree with Tabiso that Sundowns will win?
Well, for me, there's two statement games coming up with regards to Mamelodi Sundowns and the challenge for the potential PSL title there. This is one of them, and it's a statement game for Pirates to actually know, for them to actually say that the real contenders as such. So. And then the second one is next week's game where Chiefs are going to play Mamelodi Sundowns. I'm going to watch these two games with real intent there, because these are the two games that are going to say who's really serious about proceeding forward. But bringing it back to the MTN 8 in today's game, I watched the Sundowns previous game. I can't remember who they played. Was it Richards Bay? Was it?
Magesi.
Yeah, Magesi. Sorry, it's I think it's Chiefs that played that. Anyway, more to the point. When I watched the highlights of that game there, Mamelodi Sundowns looked a little bit off the mark a little bit in that first half. But when it came to the second half, maybe their quality came through a little bit, or even their fitness, and that's maybe something that one must consider there. You know, the good teams are fit. They enjoy their football because they are fit. And as you know, if you play football, you know, when you start to lose that fitness, it's not a game that you're starting to enjoy there. So, but anyway, they came through and they won that game 2-0. Pirates, for me, on their previous game, looked a little bit more convincing in their game. They played quite a nice game, a really nice game there. Right, so enough of the waffle. What do I think is going to happen today? Well, I think if Pirates are going to be serious, like I said, this is their time to actually put the mark there now. But okay, you're forcing me for an answer here, which I'm going to be difficult. I'm not very good at predicting these games generally, but let me put my foot in the proverbial there, and I'm going to say it's going to be 1-0 to Sundowns, I think.
I hear you guys say 1-0 to Sundowns. I strongly believe Pirates may take this one. I'll tell you why. Big up to Sundowns, they've brought Shaulile, and he introduced himself very well. I was a little bit worried why the rambling Shaulile and so on. It can be Mudau, it can be Ribeiro, but my belief that has an impact on the squads. If I look at Sundowns, I don't think, sorry, the issue is about the money. We know that Patrice do pay. I think it has to do with relationship. That's me, where I'm sitting in my corner. And for me, pardon me, and Van der Berg, one day, if I meet him, he mustn't fight me, he must just explain to me. I think he's an elephant in the room, as far as I'm concerned. And I'm not saying it's him who's causing whatever problems that are happening at Mamelodi Sundowns. When I listen to the coach, Cardoso, remember last time, they said to him, who take a final decision? Said, it's not me, it's me and the technical director and the board. And that one of the board, I don't buy it. How do the board come in and explain to you, do this one or that? the answer that I got is Van der Berg who takes the final decision. That's me as a layman, okay? Using my little bit knowledge of psychology, how things operate. I think it's more of a relationship that is causing instability at Mamelodi Sundowns. I don't know. That's my opinion. What do you want to say on that one? And I see Pirates beating them.
I was gonna say, Sobri, you.
As I was saying, Billy, fortunately, he's a Tembisen. He's my homeboy. The boy is so quick. And it's not about being quick only. He's a talented footballer. He can control the ball. Remember that those people who are quick, but they can't control the ball. And then he reminds me, as I said, there was a player who used to play for Pirates, Mkwanazi. I can't remember his name. No, but I know his name, man. Mkwanazi from Middlelands. That guy would run and leave the ball behind. That's how quick he was. So that's Billy. One-on-one, we are dead if you run with him. If you remember Messi when he was young, one-on-one, you are dead. You are just going to live for nothing. So he's now looking at that. That's one thing that makes me think that Pirates will win this one. And then Mamelodi Sundowns. Rowan Williams, one of my favorite goalkeepers, and he deserves it. I think for me, he's the best. Remember, he has won Goalkeeper of the Year in South Africa, a Goalkeeper of the Year in Africa, in AFCON. He has been doing well all along. But recently, if you have watched Mamelodi Sundowns, he is now found wanting. And I don't blame him because this is how football is. Sometimes you're on form, sometimes the form goes off. So let's hope that today it will be Ron Williams that we know. His form will rise. And then and not only that, if you look at Mamelodi Sundowns, there are a lot of issues that are on gelling well. I'm not sure. I don't know why they don't play Morena for me, because I would always prefer to have Morena together with Mudau. They make that side, the right-hand side, very strong. Okay, but depending on the coach, sometimes you play one or the other. But for me, playing two of them, I think Rulani used to do that. There would be a very deadly combination. But Mamelodi Sundowns has a lot of weapons. Sorry, Pete, this flu of mine. They have a lot of weapons, Mamelodi Sundowns. And then, but now I'm worried about, the atmosphere. Remember, one of your colleagues was with you, is not here. He's complaining about one or two things. Because relationship is key. Pete, one of my skills is to motivate people, especially employees. One of the key elements of getting motivated employees is a conducive environment. And conducive environment is brought by many things. In winter, they must find the air conditions working, warm. In summer, it must be cool, nice. That environment is very important. And not only about the salary, how do they relate to each other? Are meetings being conducted? Because meetings are important for people to know each other, not one in his corner. Nowadays, you see them with the earphones and stuff like that. We still want the human elements, not the earphones or anything. So that brings the atmosphere. I hear a lot of people talking, especially former players, talking about the atmosphere at Kaizer Chiefs. That's an ideal situation, to say, there at Chiefs, it's at home, all right? And then at Chiefs, we don't do anything. They do the rest for you. They do for a car for you. They do everything for you. So that's the kind of an environment. And now, having said what I said, I saw Mashiko in one of the podcasts. He said, Dr. Irvin Khoza said, let's go. I said, no, let's use my car. Then they went and they said, we're talking, nothing serious, we're talking. Then he said they went here, Continental Hotel, not far from us, here at the airport. And then when he arrives there, guess what? He met Manto Madlala there. He met Mike McCabe, all right? He said, there are people who wants to meet you. And then he said, look, you have to go to Golden Arrows. We want whoever who was at Golden Arrows to come this side. Although Mike McCabe came up, said, I don't even know that player. But there is no smoke without fire, all right? So this thing that Linda Buthelezi is saying, it could also be backed up by those. Do you understand what I'm saying? And I'm not saying, look, Pirates people to think that I hate Pirates. I don't hate Pirates. I'm just giving the news, all right? And say, look, I don't take anything away from Dr. Khoza. He has made our football to be what it is, very competitive. He has done a lot. But these little things, great leaders, in most cases, they are being killed by little things. Have you ever heard a saying that an elephant can be killed by a bee? Once it goes into that trunk, it will fall. You can imagine what I'm saying. So I'm saying this as a way of eye-opener, even to Dr. Khoza. You may say that this young man is against me. No, I'm just giving him a heads up and say these are things that we get. Maybe they're afraid to say it. And one of the things that I complain about, give us the news, all right? Because the fans deserve to get the news. And the public at large deserve to get the news. That's my argument. So if you don't give us the news, we'll speculate. We'll watch the social media and talk what we see there. I don't know what's your take. So that is why I'm saying that on its own may affect the morale of the players. Yes, Hoto is doing well on the right-hand side there. Good crosses, very matured. And then Hoto. Pirates have a solid team. And that is why I'm saying Mamelodi Sundowns, they may be in trouble. Even if before there were these problems that I've mentioned, Pirates had always given them a hard time. So let me hear, this is your last comment on this one. I was just giving you.
For me, I think with Pirates, they have a very, very strong team, and I like them. They're going to be one of the best teams this season. I think they'll still finish 1 or 2 in the league. However, it will depend on who the coach chooses at the end of the day. The coach might choose to bench Mbule Masangani again, and then you must know that's going to be trouble there in the middle if he doesn't put up those 2 players in the middle and chooses to put Lebogamokwen on the bench again. So it will also depend on who the coach chooses. But I think he has learned his lesson, and then he saw what can Paris do during the week. So let's hope he'll put the best 11 that will go up against Sundowns and put up a good player versus Mamelodi Sundowns. Will probably win the game too. So yeah, I think with Pirates it will depend on the coach. So yeah, good luck to them anyways.
Pete, what's your take?
Thank you.
Small margins, guys. It's all about small margins. If you look at Arsenal, great side, finish second. I think Pirates are a little bit like Arsenal in that respect. I don't know, they just lack that something. But let's hope this season they get it right. Let's hope they get it right. And let's see, like I said, this game, in my opinion, is a statement game for Pirates. If they want to be, show a good season ahead, let's see what they come up with. I will stick with my prediction of 1-0, but I'm kind of hoping in a roundabout way that Pirates can do the job there and actually win this. But let's see. And then obviously then we have the other teams in the other final. I see Stellenbosch got 2-0 lead going into the game there, but you say, Sobri, that Suddenly United are actually a team that play a little bit, so maybe they're going to come back also.
Yeah, it's football. It has its own thing, and then but I'm sure we are going to be entertained. A quick one, guys, before I go. Stellenbosch and Sekhukhune United. What do you want to say about that?
Me, I'll still give it to Sekhukhune. I still believe Sekhukhune will make it through because they're enjoying their football, just like last season. This year, I think they have Bruce Hobler there in the striking department. I believe they can get 3 or 4 goals today, so remains to be seen. Or maybe they can get those 2 goals and then go into the maybe penalties and take it, but I still see them winning the game today, even if it's 1-0 or 2-1. But either way, I think they will win the game today. I don't know about going through because Stellenbosch already has 1 foot in the semi-final with that 2-goal, with those 2 goals. But however, I still see Sekhukhune winning the game today. Thank you.
I wonder, there's something that worries me about Stellenbosch. Stellenbosch is owned by the richest man in South Africa, Rupert, Johan Rupert. And I don't think the money is an issue. What I don't understand, because I was expecting Stellenbosch to dominate football. That's my opinion. But I don't see that. And I'm a little bit worried. Steve Barker, let me ask this question. Let's say Steve Barker loses this tournament, or Steve Barker doesn't win anything. You are one of the people who runs Stellenbosch. Are you going to fire this guy or what?
No, I can't, because he's got a good eye for players. He can develop players. We can see that the structure there in Stellenbosch, it's giving those unknown players from Cape Town, from the ghettos there in Cape Town, so you can't fire a coach like that. It's better you move him and then put in somebody else, give him maybe a technical director, or move him to the development side of football, because I don't think they're going to lose him. They're going to take him away anytime soon. Even if they get relegated, they're not going to fire Steve Barker. I don't think so. He's a good coach for me.
Now, tell me, for him, what does it take for him? Remember, as a coach, you want to win titles. Yeah? You haven't won any titles. His uncle, the late, may his soul rest in peace, won the AFCON. I'm sure you want to emulate that. We are talking about Neymar now. Look, all of us agree that Neymar is number 3, but he has nothing to show except the trophies there at Barcelona and PSG, whom other people, they describe that league as a farmers league because it's always dominated by PSG. All right? So there's no pride. All right? If you take your resume vis-a-vis the resume of Messi with 46 titles, who seemingly can take it easily to 50. I'm talking about the collective one. Well, when you talk about individuals, it's a string of... Do you think Steve Barker will be happy that I was a coach, but he has nothing to show?
No.
What's your take?
Yeah, I agree with him. He's got an eye, but you need to take the eye and apply the eye, But let's see how they do over the season.
Oh, it's
it's like we've had conversations.
Maybe it's about money. Maybe it's about money. It's about money. I'm earning, so why do I mind?
Yeah, it's like we've said in other previous meetings. You've got to sometimes stick with the coach through bad times. And we've always said that, if you look at Sir Alex Ferguson, he was so close to being fired at one stage, and look what happened to him when Man United stuck with it. He had 25 years at the club, and the record speaks for itself. So sometimes, is it not like Pirates' new coach now? The first 2 games he loses now. Okay, he's pulled one back now, and his team. I must admit, the team, for me, they're looking quite a unit. So let's give the guy some chance there, and let's see. Let's see what happens today. I look forward.
You are in the room, Pete, being Pep Guardiola and other coaches, and then they call you. They say Pep Guardiola has won so many Champions League titles, so many leagues. What does it say to you?
It says you got some improvement, yeah.
Then they come to Sobre, or they come to Pete. Pete, yes, coach, one of the team, always number 2. They don't even mention number 2.
No, not at all.
You have to look what also what Steve Barker, does he have the players to win titles, or does he have just good players, or is he just developing good players? Does Stellenbosch give him the budget to go buy those, Ribeiro's Calibers players, your Tebogo Mokoena's Calibers players like that? So you have to look at it from that direction. You can't just say you want titles and then you develop players and then you put them into the championship, yeah.
Tabiso, people don't remember number 2. if I can ask you now and say, who was number 2 at World Cup 1966? You don't know. What you know is that it was won by England. That's all. People remember that. They don't care who was number 2. So it's not enough. I think Steve Barker must evaluate and maybe think and make a move. If I were him, I'd make a move. All right, guys.
Let's see what the viewers say, Sobri.
Yeah, let's hear what the viewers say. You are Steve Barker, doing well. Everybody agrees you are doing well, but you are always second best or third best. And no one is going to remember you for second best, third best. We remember number 1, nothing. Okay? We are talking about Mamelodi Sundowns have won the league 8 times. That's all we know. Who was number 2? We don't know. Then you're not even bothered about that. Let's go to our books. If you want to learn more from our books, this is one of them by Nomsa Masbugo, who hails from Malahleni. Is called Entrepreneurs Awakening with the Drive. You must learn about money, very, very important. And then this is another one, Dr. Tadin Small, How to Win the World Game, The Art of Money. So that's it. One guy bought the guy from Kuruman during the week. Yeah, thank you so much. And then here is another one, How to Get Out of Bad Debts, Use Other People's Money and Resources to Get Rich. It's another book that you can learn from. And then the other one is this one, Secrets for Becoming Rich. Secrets for Becoming Rich. And then you can also learn from that one. There's quite a lot that you can learn, And then it doesn't end there. We also do our own call. We also do our own a membership club, which is a mentor program, if you want to know more. On Monday, I did a TikTok quoting from the book, this one, I'll show you now, How I Turned 500 Rand into a million Rand Business. We can do the same. Guess the views? The views were 89,200 for that. So yeah, you can just touch us and say, look, I want a book. I want to learn. I can't wait. I can't wait to finish my diploma because I want to write books. That's what I enjoy most. Educating. That's what I like most. Pete, we are having things happening in England. Everything has started. Let me enter Biso. Be your ears. You lecture us. What's happening?
Okay, so there were some new EPL or English Premier League rules brought into effect this season. Some of them you may know, some of them you may not. So from a goalkeeper perspective, they've introduced the 8-second rule. So that says if a goalkeeper holds a ball for more than 8 seconds, they will be penalized and a corner kick will be awarded to the other team. The goalkeeper is deemed to be in clear control of the ball when A, they are holding the ball in their hands or arms. The ball is held between any surface. They are holding the ball in an outstretched open hand. They are bouncing the ball on the ground, or they are throwing the ball into the air. So that's an interesting one. I believe, I didn't see it, but there was one game where they applied that rule. I must actually look into that and see where it was applied. But if you're wondering when you're watching a Premier League game and the goalkeeper gets penalized, then this is the reason for it.
Yo, Pete, just hold there. 8 seconds. Is this
8 seconds.
Is this really reasonable?
Well, it used to be a 6-second rule at one stage, not to the same extent with all the rules involved there. You see, the thing is, I think they want to cut back on time wasting, and the goalkeepers do tend to be a little bit guilty of that one. Reasonable. Let's watch the season and see how this works out. Because
remember, England are the leader. They start and we follow. So that is why sometimes they ask themselves, are we the main guys or FIFA the main guys? But we follow whatever English is doing. Give us
the second one, the captain's only rule. The captain's only the captain's can approach has been adopted by the Premier League following a successful trial in 2004 in the Euros and in the 2024 UEFA Cup competitions. This means that only one player from each team, usually the captain, may approach the referee in certain cases. For example, where there's an explanation for a decision sought, so they want to know, why did you give that penalty? Why was that a corner? Whatever the case may be. I think what I'd like to add to that one as well is if your captain is the goalkeeper, which we've seen a few times, then you can nominate a player before the game to the referee, so that he becomes a spokesman for the team. Okay. But knowing English goalkeepers, and I'm not sure is Pickford one. I'm not sure, from Everton. He would definitely run all the way from the goal to go and talk to the referee anyway. But still, that's the captain's only rule, and I kind of get it, because you sometimes see, that the referee's mobbed by opposing players, etc., when the decision doesn't go their way. This is the one that's a little bit more difficult to understand. It's called inadvertent interference. And it goes on to say, if, without intending to interfere with play unfairly, a team official, substituted or sent off player, or a player who is temporarily off the field of play because of injury, adjusting equipment, etc., touches the ball while it's still in play, but when it's clearly leaving the field of play, this is penalized with an indirect free kick. There is no sanction for that player. So, you might see the ball's going out there and the guy just puts his hand on it, well, then it's going to be penalized. Any clear, it goes on to say, any clear or deliberate and impactful interference, so this is deliberate now, will mean a direct free kick or a penalty kick is awarded. I guess that depends on where that offence takes place. Along with a red card if it's a manager, head coach, or other technical staff. We'll see how that one pans out. And then an interesting one here is double touch penalties.
Yes.
If a player accidentally touches the ball twice in the course of hitting a penalty, the spot kick will be retaken. However, if a player deliberately touches the ball twice while taking a penalty, it is a foul, and an indirect free kick will be awarded to the other team. That's got a different one now. The one that I would have liked to have seen here personally is, when players go to take a penalty and then they sort of like run and then stop, and so they're trying to make the keeper commit to go one way or the other. I think that's actually unfair. For me, I would have liked to have seen a rule introduced where it a bit like a throw, and they say it has to be one smooth movement.
Yes.
That's exactly the way I think a penalty should be taken. This all dancing around, I don't think is right, but it's not mentioned here. And then staying on that theme of the penalty, assistant referee positions for penalties. When a penalty kick is taken, the assistant referee will remain on the touchline in line with the penalty spot. Remember, they used to stand on the corner flag and watch the goal line. The video assistant referee, or VAR as we know it now, has sole responsibility for monitoring the goalkeeper's movements for any encroachment during this time. And as we know, the encroachment means that he moves off his line before the penalty kick is taken. So why did they introduce these principles? What are the principles the Premier League's trying to introduce here? Is to maintain a high threshold for penalising challenges, to maintain high threshold for VAR intervention, more efficient application of VAR intervention, improve in-game VAR experience and communication. So if you look there, 3 of the 4 points I've just read out are all about VAR. And we all know what criticisms VAR came under last season. To embed robust approach to participant behavior, to maintain strong measures to reduce time wasting and disruptive tactics, as well as implementing the aforementioned rules, the Premier League officials will apply what is known are Premier League principles when presiding over games. Of particular prominence, the idea of maintaining a high threshold when it comes to penalising challenges and VAR intervention. And it goes on to say, without reading it verbatim now, it says, furthermore, efforts will be made to ensure that the VAR experience of both players and supporters is cleared and well communicated. So that's the latest what's going on in our Premier League this season. I don't know if anybody's been watching a game so far. Even last weekend, I had to watch my team, Man City, now on catch-up there because of being busy with other stuff there. So, but I was happy with the result. And that's maybe now a good time to introduce today's game from the Premier League. I want to talk about 2 results from a Premier League perspective. One result and one upcoming. So Chelsea played last night against West Ham United away, and they won 5-1. That put Chelsea at the top of the league now because they played 2 and won 2, so they're on 6 points there. I think if one looks at Chelsea, this time last year, I was saying, look at Chelsea. They're going to be the team to watch last year. And then they had a pretty, I wouldn't say disappointing, but they didn't live up to expectations in terms of the Premier League performance. But look what happened. They won the Club World Cup, as we know. And they also won the UEFA Conference Cup. So they won 2 European trophies towards the back end of last year or last season, and now they're going into the Premier League with 2 wins. Does that mean that Chelsea are a serious contender this year? I'd like maybe for your guys' opinion on that one. And then secondly, I want to talk about my team. My team playing Tottenham Hotspur at lunchtime today. That's going to be an interesting game, I believe. And from a team news perspective, I believe Rodri's back. He's fully fit now. And so is Phil Foden. So it's going to be interesting to see.
He's my favorite.
It's going to be interesting.
He's my son.
Yeah, no, he's a good player.
Yeah.
Well, he's another one of those youth players, and we've often had those conversations about how important it is to bring the youth through. You know, develop good clubs have good youth programs, and hopefully City continue with that going forward there. So I'd love to hear your predictions, guys, as well as whether you think Chelsea are going to be serious contenders this year.
You know what? Next week or Tuesday, what I want you to help me next week is Ibrahimovic back at Chelsea? Because I remember the court allowed him to go back. So even if you don't talk about it now, just do a bit of research, because we know that Chelsea won titles during his presence. So I don't know whether it's because Ibrahimovic is back now. So that's what we see now. But nevertheless, time is against us. Yeah, time is against us. And then we need to move on. As I move on, and then I just give the results quickly. The results quickly. You know that Magesi lost to Mamelodi Sundowns 2-0, Pirates won 1-0, and then Amazulu won 1-0. So we are looking forward to see what's going to happen. So those are the results that I want to check quickly. And then these are the games fixtures, as you can see there. What is that? Gomorrah United. They'll be playing Leicester. I think this is Motsepe fixture. And but there's one thing that I want to share. I think it's the cuts, the PSL cuts. So those are things that I wanted to share quickly before we because remember, PSL gives us this thing so that we can inform people, and then they know how the cut stands. So these are the yellows, guys. If you don't see your player playing, so don't blame the coach. This is, you must follow this. Every time you must follow. That is why PSL is giving us this information. What I talk about, give us information.
Can you make it a little bit bigger, Sophie?
Okay. As you can see there, Mamelodi Sundowns, Aubrey is on 1, Mukwena is on 1, Orlando Pirates, what is this? Sibisi is on 1. They are all on 1. So they must know what's happening. Kukune and all that, all this. Here is one on 2. That one must be very careful now. So those are some of the things that the supporters need to know about. Let me go to my last section, which is the Messi special, and time is already against me as far as this is concerned. Messi. We are talking about MVP, all right, already in MLS, and I don't see any reason what will stop him to get the MVP. Look at this. Look at these numbers. These numbers are shocking, man. And then the most goals, he's what? He's the one who's leading MLS. Player of the week, him 5. Player of the month, him again 2. Highest average match, it's him with 8.44. And then most goals contribution, 27, it's him again. Most goal of the week, 5. And then most 11 of the week, Messi again with 8. So MVP. Now, sometimes you ask yourself when people complain, how did he win it? But these are numbers. These are something that gives you. But time is against us, guys. I cannot go on and on because we need to cut. We need to stop. This is what I was saying, that Arsenal has spent more money than any other team. This is what they have spent on the players in terms of beefing up the squad. I don't know whether this will translate into them being a powerhouse, but we'll watch the space. Thank you so much, Pete. Thank you so much, Tabigi. It's difficult that we had so many news that we had to share. And then, but nevertheless, people decide which one. Pete said Sundowns 1-0, winning. Tabigi said who said what?
2-1 to Sundowns.
Sundowns. I'm saying Pirates may surprise Sundowns. All right. People continue to subscribe and like. And then also, it would be nice to hear from you coming up with a suggestion, what you would like to see going forward. Thank you so much, Pete. Difficult to wake up in the morning, but nevertheless, you made it. I know that you are at work.
Yeah.
Big up to you too. Okay. Thank you so much. Much appreciated.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, viewers.
Bye.
Hi, everyone. My name is the Sober Boys, Wale Fatsi from TBR. TBR is a financial company. I hope we are not one of those people who have been tricked. You got an SMS to say to you, look, we want to assist you. We want to give you one debt. They call it debt consolidation. And then they say to you, no, it's not debt review. We just want to give you a debt consolidation. The next thing, you find yourself being under debt review. And the next thing, you can't be able to make credits. You want to go and buy school uniform. You want to do this and that on credit. You can't because of that status. Because of scrupulous debt counselors who tricked you because they are aware of the fact that maybe you don't know. Because of your ignorance, then they are able to trick you. So if you want to clear that status, don't hesitate. Give us a shout. We'll be able to assist you. You'll see at the end of this message, there will be a WhatsApp number. Drop us a WhatsApp number. Just indicate and say, look, I want to be cleared, or just give us your details. We'll call you back, and then we'll assist you to clear that status. It be either judgment, blacklisting, adverse report that makes you not to be able to get credit, or you also want to increase your credit score, because credit score is very important. If you want to do that and you want to clear that status, don't hesitate. Just drop us a WhatsApp, we'll come back to you. Because the only person who can do that is a debt counselor, not even a lawyer. If it's a lawyer, the lawyer must be also qualified as a debt counselor. All right? So drop us a WhatsApp so that we assist you to clear it. We have assisted many people in situation of that nature. I thank you.